What's like the log hucking thing where you like try
Caber
to cut
toss.
tater
Caber
toss? Thank
toss?
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do a caber toss.
That's a good one.
All
And
right.
of course,
Imagining
like axe throwing or something like that.
Oh yeah.
imagining some like really interminable, like boring elf game where they sit in a tree and then they just like with like a soft smile and and the like the first one to move like loses. Some shit.
That would totally be a tree elf game.
All right. Well, we got some games. What else we got here? Who are the 10 families? We've been talking about that. My thought was that my character was going to be from a family called Half Giant, with the idea being that, like, in they tell a story that the founder of their family was like uh, uh, a hero killed a giant by cutting him in half, and the two halves fell to the earth, and they both became people, and that's like what the founder of their family is supposedly.
Nice. I liked my last name that I was playing with was Bear Wallow.
Bear Wallows.
Bare. So maybe that sounds like a halfling family. Bear Wallows.
Yeah, that's good.
I'd imagine that family in the Shire next to the Baggins.
Yeah.
I haven't really thought of names for getting into like names of the families. Should we like base it on what our trait is? So like if there was like a human that was wanted to do smithing, would they be the Smiths?
Yeah,
or
that makes
something?
sense.
You can do that for simplicity's sake, yeah.
It's
Well,
historically accurate.
yeah, that's what I mean. It's like that's why we have Smith. That's why we have Miller. Like all of those names.
Yeah. It looks like the next three questions in this world building questions are more specifically for characters that are in development. Like, how did your character spend the day before this voyage south? What was your character's? Are your character friends with other NPCs before the voyage? Did anything happen on the voyage that affected your character? But I think some of us don't have our we're not all fully charactered up yet.
Correct.
Although, I mean, if we're a tight knit community, I mean, we aren't necessarily friends with everybody, but we all know each other.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, for sure.
but the thing is that some of us could have been acquaintance and or friend prior to the journey to where we're
Yeah,
at. You know.
yeah.
Well, I can go ahead and answer the 3 questions because I've thought about my character quite a bit. So my thought is that on the day before the voyage left, uh, Brock Half Giant is the name. Went to all of the burial mounds for his ancestors, and took down all the signifiers, like all the identifiers that identified them as being burial mounds, so that they wouldn't get like robbed later. And I think that he took all of those like headstones and everything and then buried them somewhere, because he was afraid that once the people left, they would just become uh, targets for grave robbers. So I think that's what he did the day before they left, as kind of the last thing he did. And I imagine he's kind of friends with the whole community because he's like a community leader, very uh, uh, like very kind of just like a popular jock, really. And
Take charge. Moves on. Let's go. I will help you. Let's move.
Yeah, and I think very much like kind of like, reassuring everybody, it's like this is going to be hard and some of us aren't going to make it, but we're the community is going to survive, and just sort of like very very reassuring in that he's, very very bold and capable and just has a lot of friends. So I imagine that, he's probably friendly at least with everybody in the community, which includes all of the player characters. Um
Yeah.
And then the last one, did anything happen on the voyage that affected your character? And I think that the thing that happened is that amongst those who were lost was somebody very close to Brock, like somebody like a brother or a wife maybe, um, and that loss kind of, it's kind of losing the person that was closest to him made him realize that, or made him kind of refocus even more on the community kind of and it has inspired him to really make sure that as many of them make it as possible, because having suffered that loss, he doesn't want anybody else to feel that way if he can help it.
Nice.
Yeah, so I imagine Brock is really positioned to be kind of like a very unironic hero character, trying to do what's best for everybody, trying to save as many people as he can, trying to make the community flourish.
And you're probably very well liked in the community, or at least a lot of people go to you when they're like, "Oh no, we need something." Who do we go to? Brock.
Yeah, you go to Brock, and that's absolutely what I want. I want, it's like, uh, kind of, and this is like game master to game master speak, Abacus. The idea is that Brock is a plot hook. Like he is a person who is sticky. Um, People have problems, they go to Brock. It's like it's things come up, Brock goes out and deals with them. He's very sticky in that way, where it's easy to get him involved in problems.
Cool. I think so. My character is starting to develop, and the person of characters that you guys have mentioned so far, the one that strikes me is so my character is named Peter, Pedour, Peter Black Bear Wallow, and I think you would probably hang out with Seth Dwarf. I think Peter is totally a gambler as well.
Right. Oh well, if you're gonna gamble, you need to gamble with someone, right?
Yeah, yeah. And also, I think Peter would probably have been reprimanded by Brock Half Giant enough that probably don't really, like him. But of course, I'm not gonna. Yeah, but whatever. Just
Well,
bitter. Just bitter.
Brock is a killjoy. That is certainly certainly an aspect of his personality, but he's also very reliable. So you may not like it, but he is
Yeah.
somebody to go to in a crisis. So
Yeah.
I was thinking about a character idea that kind of got inspired by Brock Halfjan a little bit. With the sword and board fighter kind of guy, I was thinking, would Brock need a security guard, or just like a handyman to help him out with stuff? A second.
He's the spirit fighter cleric, which would work great for that position.
he is absolutely in the market for like a brother in arms. Somebody he can fight shoulder to shoulder with. That is absolutely Brock's vibe.
All right, I think I'm gonna. I haven't come up with a name yet, but I think I'm gonna be your brother in arms, your
Okay.
bodyguard kind of guy.
There's a couple of ways we can go about it. He can either be from the same family, like, Brock's cousin or something, which already has like a bond there. But it's also kind of cool if he was from like another one of the families, maybe that the half giants had a rivalry with. But now that the end of the world has come, there's no room for, there's no room for old grudges. So it's like the half hands and the whoever have kind of come together, and these two guys who are like, nah, we're gonna make it through this, we're gonna survive.
I definitely like that second idea a lot better.
Yeah.
All right, I'll start thinking of like names and fleshing that out a little bit, but I think that's what I'm going with.
Dope.
All right. Well,
So Joe or Josh, character ideas?
I'm still working out my general premise, but overall, I think where I'm coming from is something has poisoned the land that I've come from, or the area in which I generally tend on the island, uh, and I need some help, and so I'm gonna start seeking out other people.
So, would you have come from one of the original 10 families?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But where my family generally kind of started to congregate to provide for everybody various forms of food. Um, all of a sudden, something's kind of not right. Like there's something going on with the space, and the plants aren't coming out as they should.
Well, here, what about aren't we like abandoning our old land? Like the place you used to tend is lost and gone. We've left it completely behind. So
Yeah,
right, so you can't go back and try to figure it out. Right, this is all in our past. We like have to abandon it. Am I right in assuming that?
Yes, the sandbox will be on the new continent. Like there is no going back home.
Mhm. So then I would say I'm looking for every way to sustain and keep us moving, looking for the foods along our path.
All right. Do you think you're like, a young up and coming elf or like an older and established one? What do you think there?
Definitely younger, a little more flamboyant. Probably wrong half the time.
Right. Yeah. But really dedicated to kind of.
Yeah, I want to learn what my family has been about. I really do. I'm not super great at it, and I'm still trying.
Well, actually, one plot hook that could work for your character is the wish to go back home, but that would mean looking for magical solutions. So that could be a drive for your characters. Like, I got to look for powerful magic so we can all return home. And it could still be a fool's errand, but that's still a great character motivation.
Uh, well, knowing that our land is toast, like I just want to keep the people that I'm with currently alive.
Right, I get that. It's just your original premise of like possibly going back, and I don't necessarily want to put too much of the kibosh on that because I think that's a great character motivation.
Sure.
It does.
Yeah.
So I don't want to take that away.
Yeah. And it's like the character still works with that motivation, just sort of like in the back pocket.
Yeah.
Uh, it could provide motivation for going on particular adventures or following up on certain plot threads and stuff. Okay.
So then, as far as my character is concerned, it sounds like everybody else is kind of young, so I'd want to lean kind of old, like probably maybe like yeah, I think somebody established in their craft work, like somebody who is proud of their smith or proud of the smith they had running, and probably somebody who is one of the more hesitant people to up and abandon the community that we had. Like needed some convincing that nah, this we have to go. There is no saving it, whatever it is that it might be.
Yeah.
So dealing with that loss. And so and I would know everybody. Maybe not everybody, but like everybody would have a reason to come and see me is kind of the idea that I'm thinking with. So like I know everybody's names, but I'm not super like strong with any particular person.
Yeah.
And what are you thinking of playing? Like as far as class?
It's gonna it sounds like it's gonna be another dwarf.
Okay.
Woohoo!
So with a name like Beard Stuck or something, probably.
Beard stuck.
Sticky beard.
Stickbeard. There you go. I like that.
Oh,
Stickbeard.
God.
Stickbeard. Stickbeard the Craftsman. What is it? I'll make it.
I think I just came up with a good last name because it's kind of on theme with the church and the shield. Be like Shield Heart.
That's good.
Who was that?
That was me. I don't have a
No.
Noah. I don't have a first name yet, but Shield Heart's going to be the last name.
All right. Let's see, Seth. Do you have any ideas that you want to jump in on?
Well, I was thinking about. I mean, yeah, my dwarf who is very much into gambling. I mean,
Oh,
helps
right.
out. Yeah, helps out with the smithing, but really is more into going to the tavern and running the games, taking bets, kind of like a bookie almost. Yeah, if you want to go that far, but
Are you
you know,
dwarves related?
uh,
don't
I mean,
think-
yeah, I was thinking so, but I'm
You
kind of
think?
I was thinking I'm kind of maybe almost the black sheep of the family.
You
Like
you weren't all that interested in
smithing.
working with your hands, so you decided to
Right.
try and make your way some other way.
Yeah, I mean, I help out with the family business, but that's not my passion at all. That's not what I'm interested in.
Okay.
I'm always looking to get off the clock and go go play games and gamble and just, merry make basically. That's more interesting to me. Um, I would
Frankly, more
say,
interesting to most people.
um, I guess I am friendly with everybody, but like I don't, um, I don't. I'm sure that I run maybe a little bit afoul of the more uh, devoted church members because I don't particularly have any interest in it. I'm not allowed to like make make people upset or anything, but I'm just not interested in that. Um, and then did anything happen that to that affect my character? I guess uh, I guess my character would be pretty affected and kind of maybe jolted into reality by the fact that this is all happening, and oh, life isn't just about gambling and games, and you actually have to. There's hardship, and you have to deal with it. I don't know. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, that sounds
And I,
good.
and I don't have a name, but I'll come up with one.
Yeah, that's fine. All right.
So it sounds like there's one dwarf family at least, and then one halfling family and one elf family, and two human families.
2 human beings. And we could probably leave like the other families ambiguous for later editions.
Yeah, as other characters join, they might want to start a new family. So
Right. My thought for the half hands was that they were going to be, focused on boat building and fishing and
I thought it
have
was
a
half
pretty
giant.
or half giant, excuse me. My thought for the half giants is that they'd be big into boat building and fishing and have like a pretty hefty like Viking theme to them, but uh, yeah, more so like the trading and exploring sort of vibe of the halflings, and less so the like horned helmets and raiding the coasts sort of vibe.
In terms of our overall nature,
What's the question?
Well, sorry, did I lose you?
yeah, I heard vibe was the last word.
Yeah, yeah, just the idea that he's he basically just looks like a Viking, but that the family itself is not you know uh, medieval sea pirates. They just have like that kind of look to them and that kind of general vibe.
Yeah,
Uh,
I can see that. You got some work going on. You're walking around.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess I imagine the shield hearts being almost like construction workers. So they probably, but also being a little bit more on the faithful side too.
Oh,
So
sure.
they'd be like, they built the church, they built the houses, they built the tavern, kind of that kind of stuff. Like if you need something built out of wood or something, go to the shield hearts.
I would say the elf family, at least this first elf family, we would be considered Farin, Farin, uh, and as just kind of checking stuff out, being out there away from the group at times.
Far is that your last name? Far?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Sweet. Maybe a little about my family. I think the Bear Wallows, um, just your typical dysfunctional medieval family, farmers. I think the name might be appropriate. On the surface, they're kind of like you picture hobbits being all happy and jolly and stuff, and and drinking. But then as the hours while away, their drinking doesn't stop, and they are all drunks, and their little hobbit holes are constantly, you hear them like screaming at each other and all that bullshit. Somebody stumbles out and pukes in the flower bed.
Rad.
Some dishes break. Yeah, I think maybe my character is probably not, doesn't have any kids or anything, or a wife or anything himself. He's probably like a, an uncle, but and is can't be bothered um, with or just isn't desirable by anybody. Uh,
Definitely sounds like there is a cast of characters going on.
Got a casket. We're a decently hardy squad. Looking at it, like we got dwarves and fighters, and then like an elf and a halfling rounding it out. That's a pretty like boots on the ground hardy sort of squad.
And all from different schools. Isn't that fun?
Oh, we got another fighter in there. Yeah.
Kind of makes sense if small community of like 60 people surviving out on like a chain of islands.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to kind of learn how to, you know.
yeah.
Everyone okay over there?
Yeah.
Let's see what's next. Should we settle on like a name of our archipelago?
Okay. Let's see what we got.
Oh, I was looking at just synonyms of archipelago, and I just saw enclave, isle, islet, I guess, peninsula, reef, atoll, bar, and K.
I like atoll.
I
Ohana.
do too. Ohana Atoll or like Ohana K or something like that. I
How's
don't know.
K spelled?
Atoll Grove?
K is spelled C-A-Y. Atoll Grove.
That's cool.
I like that.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, no, that would be all right.
Atoll. What was it again? Atoll Grove.
Atoll Grove.
Was that
Yeah.
one word or two?
I was thinking
Atoll Grove.
you.
I like that it kind of like implies that we've got these like heavily wooded like islands in a ring. That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that works.
Cool.
Sure is a nice place you got there. It'd be terrible if something awful were to happen. Be such a
Well,
shame, really.
we
You
can
had
remember it
your face,
fondly.
Abacus.
Yeah, we can. It's a
Oh,
good
no.
sort.
I
We can
thought
tell.
we figured out Cliff's plan the whole time. We were supposed to spend all of this time investing into creating this world. That way he could take it away from us as a motivation for whatever the fuck it is we're going to be doing.
We're gonna look for points of interest and hope he doesn't kill us. But
This is
if
what they
he
took
does
from
kill
us.
us, we get a bonus. So
That's just game mastering 101. Make him force the players to make up a nice place and then destroy it.
Yeah.
So yeah, just some setting things to put you all out there. It actually it's some of it's down here at the bottom. Like activating magic. Magic is super suspicious. So I
yeah,
guess like the elf
I
player,
saw
you're
that.
yeah. Also elves are unmistakably elven. Like they
Yeah,
look
I also
they
saw
look
that.
okay, good. So yeah, there's no
But
real
again, I've never played one, so
well that's just these are like things unique to my world setting. I put those in place. Another one that actually isn't put there because I guess I could put it in travel, but basically the further away you get from civilization and the further you go into wilderness, the more dangerous stuff becomes.
Yeah. Makes
Okay.
sense.
well,
It's definitely it's also so like one thing you all know is that orcs, goblins, and hobgoblins and and vampires or whatever all have a sensitivity to daylight. So they like dark places. So the other reality is at night things get very bad. And if you're not around the campfire at night, you're as good as dead.
Yeah. So to make this clear, it's a little bit of more of this session 0 stuff. I'm assuming that you are not going to be balancing encounters. That it's going to be. Is that correct? It's going to be based on where we are. We will encounter,
Exactly.
threats depending at
If you
challenge level, depending on how far away from home we are.
exactly.
Got it.
just need a lot of fire. A lot of fire.
Burn the whole forest down. It's safer.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Another
I cast
topical.
wildfire.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
look
I'm
at that.
beginning to understand why we left our new home.
Somebody burned it down.
Couldn't stop playing with matches.
All right.
All right. Well, we've pretty took it a pretty good chunk out of these questions. Abacus, what about where are we in the process, do you think?
If you guys have clear ideas of your characters, and we've kind of already discussed the island and have a setting, and you guys feel like you can start putting numbers down on paper, I think I think this has been a very successful session 0.
All right.
All right.
All right.
And to any future participants in this session, there's room, so please play around. Let's see what we end up with.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, it looks like we have 4 families so far, so there's room for 6 more families.
I think we have 5 because we got 2 human families.
Oh yeah, well, I have written down half giants, the bear wallows, the shield hearts, and the Farons. Oh, and then whatever
there's-
dwarf.
Like this, I think. Did we just say like the Smiths or something?
Oh,
Yeah, the Smiths, and
sweet.
we also have like a second human family.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
That's the shield heart.
Shield hearts.
that's the shield hearts. Okay, yeah, I had that as a dwarf family. Okay, I see what my problem is. All right, yeah. Dope.
Okay, well, thank you guys for playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Abacus. This is great.
When is session 1?
We'll get to that, but first.
Cool.
Chat, thank you all for watching. And if you wanted to keep up on all serious industry streams, the best way to do that is to give this channel a follow. Alternatively, you can reach our social media through Discord, Facebook, or Twitter. There's also the website, shatteredempire.net. Shattered Empire is a post-apocalyptic interstellar synthwave-fueled tabletop RPG. And if you go to shatteredempire.net right now, you can download the free alpha. The alpha has everything you need to make a character. And if you're a crafty enough GM, you might be able to make your own campaign. So check that out and check out more serious industry streams. We'll be back for session 1. And this is Abacus Fish signing off.